Let's just dive right into this explainer, okay? Today, we're challenging the very blueprint most of us use to build our lives. We're looking at a concept that's simply titled the success formula. From the minute we're born, we absorb all these messages about what achievement is supposed to look like. But what if the whole foundation of that formula is just fundamentally broken? Let's unpack what true achievement actually looks like.
So, I've got a question for you right off the bat. Have you scripted a completely incorrect success formula for yourself? Honestly, so many of us are living out a formula that was scripted based entirely on early childhood experiences, or, these deeply ingrained early desires. We're basically just following a pre-written script instead of living authentically. And the real danger here? You could literally spend decades perfectly executing a script that was flawed from the very first page. Crazy, right?
Which brings us to our first core concept, the flawed success formula.
We all know this trick, right? Earn money, buy the big house, take the flashy overseas vacations. Oh, and you gotta have the big car, and make sure you change it often to keep up appearances. Then it's sending the kids to super expensive schools, enjoying the finest single malt, flaunting those luxury brands. It's literally an endless treadmill of acquisition. And look, actually, let me be clear. These things aren't inherently evil, but making them your primary formula for success, that is a massive mistake. Because at the end of the day, life is never just about possessions.
And I know this because I have seen people on this exact track struggle. Despite checking every single box, the car, the house, the vacations, the whole shebang, many of these individuals possess absolutely zero internal happiness. In their relentless, exhausting quest to just become something, they completely lost their actual path. Let's move on and look at how this happens in our next section, the illusion of happiness.
Here is exactly how this illusion operates as a step-by-step trap. First, you follow that flawed childhood script we just talked about. Then, and guys, this is the really insidious part, society starts cheering for you as you rack up that material wealth. And that applause, it's dangerous. It's so dangerous because it validates the entirely wrong direction. You end up wandering farther and farther away from your true purpose. So ultimately, you reach your later years completely dissatisfied, disgruntled, and just filled with regret. Basically, you won the game, but it was the totally wrong game.
So how do we fix this? That brings us to redefining true success.
Let's look at a stark contrast side by side. On side A, you've got the flawed formula, which basically dictates that life is all about possessions. But side B, the true formula, redefines this entirely. It says life is actually about overcoming the unique challenges posed specifically to you, and then, this is key, doing for others. So first, you face the specific hurdles on your individual path, and second, you turn outward. It completely shifts the focus from taking from the world to actually giving back to it.
I want you to really consider this profound quote. Ultimately, if the individual did not leave the world a better place by doing those small things that really matter, they have not really achieved anything. Just let that sink in for a second. It completely strips away all of our ego. It doesn't matter how big your company was, how many degrees you have on your wall, or what brand of watch you're wearing right now. If you didn't leave this world better than you found it, true achievement has completely eluded you.
Now, to escape that cheering crowd and break free from that flawed script, you're going to need a really crucial tool, the internal compass. Think of this as a small internal guiding voice that you literally cannot fool. It knows deep down when you're just chasing empty possessions versus when you're doing meaningful work. The trick is to tune out all that external noise, completely ignore the societal applause, and just start listening to this compass.
Which leads us perfectly into our final concept, the ultimate equalizer. Look at this incredibly diverse list of roles. You've got an industrialist, a politician, an officer, a gig worker, an educator, a stay-at-home parent, a small business owner. Now, society assigns completely different levels of status and power to these roles, right? All based on that flawed material formula we've been talking about. But here's the fascinating part. Despite the massive differences in their bank accounts or their social standing, every single person on this list shares one binding absolute limitation. And that limitation is 24. Every single person has the exact same resource to make their impact, 24 hours in a day. The billionaire industrialist absolutely cannot buy a 25th hour. The gig worker isn't magically shortchanged with 23. It is the ultimate equalizer. True success has nothing to do with your societal role. It is entirely about what you choose to do with those 24 hours. Are you using them to chase a bigger car, or are you using them to overcome your unique challenges and do something for others?
Which brings us right to the core of it all. I want to leave you with this final question, and it's the exact question you need to be asking your internal compass every single day.
Am I leaving the world a better place due to my actions? Remember, you can't fool that compass. If the answer's no, well, it might just be time to rewrite your script. Thanks for joining me for this explainer today. Keep listening to that internal compass, and seriously, take a hard look at how you're spending your 24 hours today.